Welcome to That's What She Said, where we'll spill the tea on women empowerment in the Great Lakes Bay region with your host, Christiana Malacara.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to That's What She Said. Thank you so much for coming on and tuning in and listening. And as always, thank you for investing in yourself each and every week as we drop a new episode live Thursday at 1:30. So 1:30 on social media. So if you see our faces, you are most likely on Facebook or YouTube at 1:30. Which I love to call That's What She Said day. That is that nice reset day where you're just like, okay, we've almost made it through the week. Let me share the other ways that you can tune in to That's What She Said with Christiana Malacara 24/7 in a podcast format. Anywhere you're receiving your favorite podcast, we are there. Remember to add with Christiana Malacara. As always, and one of the most fun classic ways to tune in is via radio. So 100.5 and 790 WSGW on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. or Sunday evenings at 6 or at WSGW.com if you're not rolling in your car at those times. Something fun that we are kind of dabbling into in the next couple weeks. So let me share a little bit about that. And the way that you can find out more information is we will be bringing in a specialist. And this is a specialist on a topic that is geared towards women. I'm not going to let, how do they say, all the eggs, no, baskets, eggs, something like that. I don't know. See, this is Jonathan's forte. He knows all these little fun sayings. Cat out of the bags. Cat out of the bags. Yes. I'm not going to let all the cats out of the bag. And so we're bringing in a specialist, and she's going to be absolutely wonderful talking about a specific topic geared towards women. And the way that you can learn more about that is on our Facebook page. In the upcoming weeks, we're going to be posting a lot because what we want to do with that is get questions from you for me to ask her. So it's a little bit more engaging on your end. So again, keep your eyes and your ears open for that. One thing I wanted to talk about before we move into our episode, just very briefly here, is a reminder that everyone needs someone. Everyone needs someone. And that's just one of those things that women, we kind of just breeze by. You know, we're like, I got this. I can do this. And you most definitely do got it, girl. And you can do it. But that companionship of just having a friend nearby, a relative, just, even go grab yourself. We're talking about cats. Go grab yourself a cat because everybody needs somebody at some point to lean on, to talk to, and just navigate through life with a partner. It just makes it a much more pleasurable journey. So that is your reminder as you navigate from this That's What She Said day to the next. Go get a cat. No, not gonna find someone, lean on someone, check on someone, and remind yourself that everybody needs somebody. Speaking of duos, I have a very fun duo in our room today. We have Jen Behmlander and Lori Ziolkowski. Hi, ladies.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
They're so fun. So I want to first thank you for being on. I know we had talked about this for some time individually, and then I realized, listeners, they're sisters. I was like, I knew them individually. I was like, you're cool and you're cool. And then I saw them in the same room and I was like, hold on. Now they have the same smile. This is interesting. So I know you both in very different ways, but how might the community know you? I'll let you go first, Jen.
All right. The community probably knows me best from being a business owner in downtown Bay City. I own Momentum Men's Lifestyle Studio. And also I'm very active in the chamber within the community too.
Awesome. And Lori?
I've been doing community advocacy work with Face Addiction Now, formerly known as Families Against Narcotics, since 2017. So I am known in the community for helping people access resources and services for substance use disorder. And also I was a college professor at Delta College for 15 years. I taught business classes there, and people probably know me from that. I know a lot of people that because they were my students. So
Wow. This is two very similar stories, a similar upbringing, and very two different paths that we've landed on here. So who's the older sister? Who's the younger sister?
I'm the much older sister, and she is my much younger sister by 7 years.
7
Yes.
years. And yet you seem so close.
Yeah, and I mean, and I can honestly say it's really just happened recently.
Last decade, maybe?
Yeah, just
yeah.
because there was that age gap,
Mhm.
and just life took us in different directions at
Yep.
different times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
our lives are a little bit more aligned in what we're doing and who we are. But, I was thinking back, like when she was in junior high, I was gone to college.
Yeah.
So, and when you have a little sister, if you have one, you know how annoying they are when you're a teenager and, they need, your mother makes them tag along to every event that you go to. And so she was my annoying little sister. But yeah, I got married. My husband and I have been married 37 years ago. We had a very small wedding and she was my maid of honor at 19. Yeah. So I always valued her as like my ride or die, that she would always be there. But our lives were very different, and they took different paths. And until recently, now we go to the chamber events together.
Yeah.
I literally texted her. I'm like, I'm going into the chamber event. Can I call you later? She's like, I'm going into the chamber event. I was like, what?
So you said at one point in time, Jen was your little annoying sister.
Yes.
What is she now?
She is my confidant, my little sister that I am so incredibly proud of, for all that she has accomplished in her life, for her resilience, and she's a friend. Like, it's really cool when you get to have your sister as a friend. And it's not that we weren't friends before, it's
Right.
just we didn't have as much in common maybe with where we were in our lives, and we do now, and it's really, really cool. And so now we're able to kind of go out and have fun together. We were just out last night with
Yep.
our husbands and our papa, our stepdad, and our aunt, and papa's girlfriend, and like we hang out together more. We've got plans on the 3rd to go on this really cool walking tour in Bay City that we get to go down under Old City Hall
I heard
to look
yeah.
at the yes.
Yeah.
So always wanted to do that. So we hang out more than we did. And also we were busy working mothers. And that kind of just takes all of your energy, just like taking care of getting the kid here and there and the car repairs and the relationship stuff. You get
So
busy with life.
It sounds like a chapter, like that chapter, that busy with life chapter. You're pouring into different cups.
Yeah.
We had a guest before that said, in general, women are like, oh, you got to pour back into your cup or you can't pour from it. But the way that she explained it was within that cup, there's kind of little dividers, right? And some dividers need different parts filled at certain times.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm hearing right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, is we're pouring into that sister cup right now,
Yes,
and
yeah.
that wasn't always full. Do you agree with that, Jen?
Absolutely, I do. And I do want to say one thing, as I'm still the annoying little sister. I don't think that ever goes away. But yeah, and it just feels, I'm proud. I'm proud to tell people she's my sister and to hang out with her. And yeah, even like this morning, I'm going to let it out. She texts me, what are you wearing? Like before, that never would have happened just because we were focused on so many other things rather than the friendship and such that now that we've been building through these years. Yeah,
So Jen, you said you're a business owner.
I am.
How long have you been a business owner?
I have been a business owner for over 9 years.
What were you doing prior to that?
I was doing permanent makeup. I owned BMB, Permanent Makeup Studio. And that, I was getting a little burnt out. I did that for 9 years. Prior to that, I was a cosmetologist. So I've had my license for over 30 years now. And within the permanent makeup industry, it's tough tattooing faces every day. And I was kind of looking for a different route of what to take. And I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do. And I had to do a pivot because the state of Michigan came down with a new law that we can no longer use any type of numbing agents unless prescribed by doctor and all these different things. And I just wasn't having it. It was my sign. And I actually seen you at one of the women in leadership when I was trying to decide what I was going to do. And you talked about that it's not a season, it's a chapter. And that women in leadership, you actually was this shining light on me because I did that for 9 years. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do without it. That was a chapter. And now I'm on to my new chapter with Momentum.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for
So,
saying that.
Yeah. So thank you.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So prior to that, have you looked at life in chapters?
No, I didn't. I was just going kind of like every day, doing and working and what else can I do? I never looked at it as chapters. And another thing, I don't know your exact words, but you mentioned something like leave it in the past. It was in the past. You can't change it. Move on from today. You're no longer that person. And for so many years, I lived like that. Like I carried the guilt and the burden and the shame and different things with decisions that I've made in my past life. And I don't do that anymore. It is what it is. It happened. It made me who I am today, and it made me stronger and more knowledgeable and more confident. And here we are.
When you said you carried that burden with you.
Yeah.
When you did that, Lori, did you see that? Was that something that was external?
Yes.
Or was it more internal? It was.
Yes, it was. And I would address it because I could see her confidence level wasn't where it should be, that the outside world had more confidence in her than she had inside. And so prior to her opening BNB, her own studio, she had been working at a different studio and was starting to do permanent makeup. And it was in a room about as big as this studio. It was very teeny tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And, she was building her business. And I was a client of hers, not for permanent makeup, but for micro needling, which helps you look younger because I'm trying to keep up.
That 7-year gap is getting smaller.
Now I'm looking at Skin and Vein Center for facelifts. I was like, look, I think I need this.
She is. She's like, come on, maybe they can do like a 2-for-1.
And I remember telling her, as the salon started starting to change and her services were upper end services for women who would pay like some decent money. And I remember saying afterwards, I was like, I don't mean this to sound bad, but you are more than this and you are more capable than this. And then she started looking at her own place.
Was it challenging for you to say that to her?
No, because I believed it for so long and I could just see that she didn't. And that made me really sad because she's always said how much she admired me and for my outside accomplishments and things. And I admired her for so many other accomplishments and for being resilient and a fabulous mother and a wonderful glam, which is she's a grandma, but we don't say the word grandma. I just always saw her strength, and it took her a really long time for her to see that strength.
Jen, how did you absorb that information, or did you absorb it?
Absolutely, I did. And it took me back, actually, Lori. It kind of shocked me that you seen me in that light, because when you don't see yourself that way, it's hard to fathom that other people see you that way, if that makes any sense at all. So when she said that, it really, it inspired me. It put the fire in me. It really made me see like, okay, if my sister sees that in me, she's my sister, right? She's going to always talk me up and want better for me. But the way that she said it and the way that she came across with it, it brought light to a lot of other people see me like that too. It's within me. I didn't see myself.
So for the relationships, for the duos out there where person 1 and person 2, there's a similar scenario, but maybe she is nervous to tell the other person, I don't know how she's going to take this information. I don't know how she's going to take this, air quotes, like constructive criticism on what's happening. What advice would you give her to kind of push her to be able to encourage and bring awareness to the other person?
I would say anytime you're speaking with someone about something you can see in them that maybe they don't, you don't come at them with that information. You come alongside them in love, and people can sense the difference in that. And if you come at it from a place of, I care about you, and I can see that you are out here like really trying, and I think you're built for more, and I would love to encourage you and help you with that. Or maybe somebody's struggling in an area. That's what we do with substance use disorder. Somebody is on their, just really at the bottom and really hurting. You don't come at them with information. You come alongside them and say, I care about you. I love you. And what I'm noticing is, and share what you're noticing. And then say, have you ever considered, or would you be willing to talk about I'm here to help you. So that's whether somebody's struggling or somebody's at a level. And like, I knew, I was like, girl, you are bigger than this little room right here. Like, do it. If all these other folks can do it, you have just as much capability as they do. And so I think when you come alongside somebody and with encouragement, to say like, I believe in you and here's what I see in you. And I really think we could do this. Like, you can do this and I'll help you. Like, let's look at it together. I think people are receptive to that type of feedback. Nobody likes to be like, hey, you know what you need to do? My husband always says, you should have a radio show. So when I was a pharmaceutical sales rep, AM 790 was on my car radio until I lost signal as I was heading to LP and Air Cadillac. And I listened to Art and Sue, listened to the Mrs. Dave Maurer. I listened to a farm report. I am not a farmer. I don't care. And so my radio show would be called Unsolicited Advice, where I just call random people and tell them how they should live their life.
No better time than the present.
Don't we all like to just give unsolicited advice? And typically that is not received well. So I think you have to have a conversation with someone, not talk at them. And I was just like, you are better than this.
I can really appreciate the framework that you set up for that. So we're not talking at someone. We're talking, you said, beside someone, kind of bringing them along. So it's more or less, and just kind of to break it down for our listeners, is it's more or less saying, these are some tools I have. Let me listen. And these are the resources. Opposed to, here's this information. I think you need it.
Here's what you
Here
need
you
to
go.
do.
This is what you need to do. Oh, I like. Okay.
Nobody likes
that. So we're avoiding that.
So there's a technique. It's called motivational interviewing. It's helping people come to their own conclusions about what's their next best step. So you can't tell people what to do in their life. You might have some expertise in that, and they might ask you eventually, like your children do when they get to be in their 30s. Because in their 20s, they don't want any of your advice, and you just help them clean up the messes that they make along the way. But I think that motivational interviewing is to really see like, okay, what do you think about this? How do you see that happening? Is a good technique.
And I would like to add real quick to that too. When Lori said that to me, she just didn't then leave me hanging. Like, she was there by my side. I would contact her when I found a place, and then I found the place, and then we would decorate it, and then how to go about marketing it. And just so she gave that advice, and she made me see myself in a different light, but she didn't leave my side.
Wow. So you talk the talk and walk the walk.
You're on a journey together. And I know she would do the same for me as well. And just to be able to be there for somebody and just to bounce ideas off of. I remember when she was first looking for a place, she's like, I'm thinking about buying this. I was like, oof, don't buy it. It's an old building in downtown and there might be issues. And I said, just rent, because here's the thing, it's easier to get out just in case, in case. So before you moved in, or right when she moved in, the boiler went. It was like a $5,000 repair, and it was not her bill. So that was good advice. But I've also given her advice that she hasn't taken, and it's turned out really well too. So her Momentum studio has two sides to it. So when she was thinking of this transition, I said, why don't you just like baby step your toe into it and keep doing the permanent makeup so you continue to have income, and then like get it rolling on the other side. And she's more of a, I have my vision. Here's my vision. And pretty soon it was all green and copper and black. And I was like, okay, but she just dove in head first. I would have been a little more cautious, but you know what? She was right. She was right for her and what she planned to have happen in that space. And she worked her tail off for 2 months to get that place ready and to make it happen. And it's phenomenal.
The interesting thing about what you're sharing is, well, one, I have 1,000 ways we could continue this conversation, but being the person to offer in an olive branch of advice to walk alongside, that sounds like it could be a large commitment. So as we're talking to our listeners here, when someone is willing to share advice to someone that they love and care about to help them succeed or see something, or it might not even be to help them succeed, but to remove themselves from something, that's a commitment to that other person. So on the receiving end, Jen, when you're getting advice and you're, Lori's over here like, I don't know, maybe this, maybe that. How is it, and what advice can you offer to a woman who to be more open to absorbing that information?
Yeah. And you have to allow yourself to do that. If you don't, then you're not ready for that next step and that next chapter. So I was open to all that. I was open, but yet I was also open to my own ideas too. She could guide me, she could help me, I could lean on her for advice and direction, but I always do things my way anyways.
Yep.
I do. But it was just nice to have, if I needed somebody to fall back on, it was so nice to know that she was there for my soft landing, and if I needed her, and she has been. So yeah, you have to be ready. If I wasn't ready, this would never have happened.
Yeah, she was definitely ready. She
Yeah.
was at that place. And also, I will say that if you are advising somebody or helping somebody and they don't take your advice, like, don't hold resentment for that.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh geez, she didn't like my idea. Like, that's okay. It's her choices.
Mhm.
And my way isn't contrary to my own belief, my way's not always right. So, but we all think, right? Like,
Yeah.
no, this is the best idea. And so when you're alongside of somebody, if they choose to go right and you want them to go left, it's still their choice. And you still support them. You don't then leave them and be like, well, you didn't do what I said. So
It goes back to that saying is you gotta wanna, right? So
Yeah.
you gotta wanna make decisions on your own.
Yeah.
And your gut helps you
Yeah.
with that
Yeah.
intuition too. So we are talking to Jen and Lori, or should I say Lori and Jen, because Lori's older.
Oh, let's just keep saying that.
Okay. Well, we are talking to Jen and Lori, and they are two wonderful sisters who are going to share more. When we come back from this break, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into Lori's story. So tune back into That's What She Said with me, Christiana Malacara.
That's What She Said with Christiana Malacara is back. Now let's spill the tea.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to That's What She Said with Christiana Malacara. Thank you for coming back to the second half of this episode with Jen Behmlander and Lori Ziolkowski. So I have Lori and Jen in the room, and it's very exciting because this is my first time interviewing two women in the same interview for That's What She Said. And I was telling Jen, it's super fun because I'm still finding newness with That's What She Said. Jonathan and I worked hard to ramp this up. We're still creating new things. We have lots of ideas for the future. And so that element of a first, this is a first time doing this, right? And it's always a thrill because that means that you are growing. Lori, you said that you worked in education and you're working in the nonprofit sector, and then now you're back in university in a
I'm
sense.
with Central Michigan University, but not in a faculty position. So I am in fundraising to help bring awareness and raise funds to build the medical school here in Saginaw within the Medical Diamond. So we're so excited about that.
Sounds like a lot of firsts.
Yes, and that's what keeps life really exciting and scary. But I just lean into that. I love doing new things. I love change. Not everybody embraces it. I look for it. It's a lot of fun.
Exciting and scary.
Mm-hmm.
Are those words interchangeable? Are they similar? Are they too different in your head to be like, oh no, it's either scary or exciting? Explain those two words to me.
I always tell people when they're like, oh, I'm really nervous or I'm really scared about that. I think the feelings are the same when you're really excited or you're really nervous. It's just your mindset on how you're viewing those feelings. So
Yes.
I don't ride roller coasters, but if I did, it would be feeling scary and nervous, but also maybe I would be excited about it. I think it's the same. So I think it's how we frame what our feelings are. And I lean more into, oh, I'm really excited about that. Because it still is that buzzing, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. And that's okay. I love a surprise every once in a while.
I didn't know you didn't ride roller coasters.
No.
What?
No.
Come on, let's go to Cedar Point.
Nope.
Do you ride roller coasters, Jen?
I have years ago. I would again, but yeah, it's been a long time. I didn't know
desire to do that. I think I'm in my fourth quarter of life, and
Okay.
as you start ending, you're getting into the fourth quarter, between 60 and 80. Like anything over 80 is overtime. Right.
Okay.
That's just overtime. And the closer you get to that, it's like, I don't really want to push the envelope anymore. I get less risky with things. I will say though, that my daughter and I had the opportunity to travel to Costa Rica, and I did zip line across the Costa Rican jungle.
Okay.
Which I'm glad I did, but I will never do it again. But I thought it was a really great way. If I did die, how would that look
would
in
be
my, that would be
awesome.
a great way to go. Right. Instead of, she just got old. But no, that was kind of more of
the story.
Yeah.
What's our ending story?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because that's so my personality. Right.
So Lori, you didn't want it on a roller coaster.
No,
Like,
I wouldn't do
good
that. I'm not hanging up those roller coaster videos where people are standing up there. Oh, that's my worst nightmare.
So not at Cedar Point,
No,
but more of like the
sorry,
Costa
Cedar Point.
Rica obituary. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, I pick and choose.
You said a couple of things that are really interesting. So so we're just gonna have to bring you guys back in, and we're not even done with this segment. So what's really interesting, and you both have heard me speak, and we have That's What She Said theories, right? And so I take all these episodes and create different theories to share at public speaking opportunities. And one of the theories that I've created with That's What She Said is the excitement ball. And so essentially, just listening to stories over time, a woman is very nervous and scared about this thing, right? Let's just say it's public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very nervous. And what the analogy is essentially like taking that nervousness and then putting it into this glowing ball and then sticking it in your stomach and saying, okay, let's do some deep breathing. And then when we bring that back up to our chest, it's excitement because you care about it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're nervous about something, let's translate that into, I actually care, that this runs successfully. So a lot of those nervous moments, if that framework to be able to put them into that mindset of, well, I have passion for this.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the nervousness comes from. Unless you're on a roller coaster, I do not have passion for that either. But to translate that into excitement and then excitement into success, right? So out of all these firsts that you've had with job changes, the interesting part to me here is you started in education. What am I correct by saying that?
I am so old that I actually started working at Hudson's at the Saginaw Mall in 1989. So my first job, and for my career is really segmented out in 10-year blocks. I was a retail buyer and store manager for 10 years, part of it at Hudson's, but also part of it at Zender's as the buyer and store manager for the gift shops, which was really fun. Yeah. I was a pharmaceutical sales rep for 10 years. And then I was a teacher at Delta College for 15 years. My nonprofit stuff has always been kind of like the side, what I do for community advocacy. Yeah. So my career has been over 30 plus years of doing various things. And I will say, going back to like that nervousness. So as a professor, I would oftentimes have final presentations for my students because I think the best way to teach somebody is to make them teach other people, because there's a lot of pressure on you to make sure that you know your stuff when you're up in front of people.
The best way to teach people is to have them teach other people.
Yes, because you need to be prepared. Yep. So you have to know your stuff when you're standing up and speaking with authority to your classmates who you've been in class with for 12 weeks and gotten to know, because my classes were very interactive. And one of the other ways that you can minimize that nervousness is to practice. Practice out loud to your cat. If you don't have a cat, I do recommend get a cat. To your dog, to your mirror. Practice out loud, because the more you say things out loud and hear yourself speak, the more confident you become. So you get better at things and then you become more confident, which takes away some of those nerves. So practice. Whatever makes you scared, do it more.
Oh,
yeah. Except for riding roller coasters.
Don't do that, guys.
Because there would be no positive outcome for me in that. But if it's, I really would like to go golfing. There's people, who are in golf leagues and I'm scared to do that. Go get some golf lessons. Get better at it, and then you're less scared. Because I think a lot of our fear is what other people might think.
Yes.
And I heard a great phrase that said, when you're in your 20s, you're really worried about what other people might think. And in your 40s, you're not worried about what other people might think. And in your 60s, which I am now, you realize nobody was thinking about you. They're all thinking about their own problems. So I think the less socially afraid I became, the more confident I became in sharing authentically the hard things in my life. Because I frankly don't care what people think about me. The people that I care about, I do, and they will, we could need to check each other, but I don't care what strangers think about me.
So do you think that element of just not caring leads to success?
I think it leads to freedom to be your authentic self.
And
then
why
if
is
people
that
judge you,
important to women?
Because I think we spend a lot of our lives trying to fit a mold and to wear hats that other people have put on our heads.
Yeah.
Here's how you be a mom. Here's how you be an employee. Here's how you work full time, plus manage a household, plus be the room mom and the popcorn mom. You know, God bless all the women in the 60s who burned their bras. I think that was a great idea. We should go back to that. But also, I think it is really unrealistic to expect that women should shoulder all of that. And I will tell you, as a woman of a certain age, and I hope it's changing with the young men out there now, there was not an equal division of household chores and responsibilities. There just isn't in my marriage. My husband was born in 1959. So we have a very traditional marriage, and that's great. But when you're also working full time, that is a lot to put on women. And I think that needs to change. And I think we need to relook at mutual chores and how that is not just the chores are divvied up, but the responsibility for them. One of the things that always would tick me off is, oh, can I help you with the dishes? Can I babysit the kid?
Jen, do you want to?
Yeah, so I want to interject on this one because my husband, and I actually, he was 10 years Air Force, and I really honestly think he got it from that, and his mom, Kay. I am so blessed and grateful. My husband, I don't have to leave like a honey-do list. I mean, so it's hard for me, and it's the generation, and it's the age gap too, that I'm just sitting right here, that I have to like ramp up my husband because he does the laundry and the cooking and the cleaning, like everything. Doesn't have to ask. I don't have to ask him. So hopefully, now Lori had mentioned like the different men of age now, just do it, guys.
Yeah, because we both live here. And it's not to say that my husband has not participated, but, the traditional, like taking care of the cars and the lawn and stuff.
Yeah. Different lifestyles, different
inside
upbringing.
house. Yeah, just different expectation. But I can say throughout my life that was a lot to shoulder, but I felt like I was expected to. I felt like that was the expectation.
Laura, do you think it's because mom was a single mom that we got that expectation?
Yeah.
Because I know I had it too.
Yeah. So our parents got divorced. I was 9, Jennifer was 2, and our brother was 7. And
there's 3 of you.
There's 3 of us. And then my dad went on to have 2 other subsequent families. So there are 3 other additional children with 2 other moms.
Yeah.
So we have more of a family bush than a family tree.
I really like that analogy.
That's I think cute. A lot of people do, right?
Yeah.
But our mom worked her tail off, and like it was just her.
Was she? Would you consider mom an empowering role model? And in what stage of life?
I think she was a survivor.
She was a survivor.
Yeah.
She did a lot of things because that's literally she had to.
Yeah.
She had to provide for her 3 kids because dad did nothing. She did a lot of things because she had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not because she wanted to. But So and she was tired.
Yeah, and I think that is being a role model, but not intentionally.
Right.
I don't think she stepped into that like, I'm going to show my kids work ethic.
Yeah. No.
She had to work.
There wasn't a choice.
Yeah. There wasn't a choice, or we didn't eat.
Yeah. Lori, you early on had described Jen as essentially, I translated it to having grit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why did you say that?
Because some of her life choices have made some of her seasons of life, her chapters of life, kind of difficult. And she has navigated through all of those things. And I wouldn't even just say all of your choices, some of your circumstances, whether they were choices or not.
Yeah.
I think my life was a little easier as an adult. my life was easier to navigate. And she navigated relationship stuff and financial stuff and being a young mom. And I didn't have to do that. And so I saw from my mom what she had to come through, that Jennifer was able to do that too.
So do you think
Yeah.
the quality of grit came from your mother?
Yes. Yeah. 100%. Yep. And I'm proud to say that, but yet I'm not proud to say that, because there are times that I wish I wouldn't have made some of the choices I
Mhm,
did in life,
mhm.
but it is what it is,
Yeah.
right? And it's made me who I am today. And if I wouldn't have seen my mom do it, I wouldn't know how, if you don't know any better or any different. So thank goodness we had the high heel shoe and the butter knife,
Yeah,
because
for
that's
sure.
what got us
Yeah.
through.
The high heel shoe and the butter knife.
So growing up without a dad, you also don't have tools.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And so our repair kit was a butter knife, because you can use that as a screwdriver.
A prior.
Yeah, a prior. Yeah. You
Whatever.
can cut like whatever you need to do. And then a high heel shoe
Make a sandwich.
is great for pounding in a nail. When I was first
Yeah.
married, my husband and I lived in this cute little apartment on Center Avenue, and he came home and I had my shoe and a nail, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going to hang a picture." And he's like, "Why do you have your shoe?" I was like, "To put the nail in the wall." So you know what he got me for our first anniversary? He got me, it was called a do-it-herself toolkit. And
Wow.
it came with all the tools, and I had that for decades. Now, since borrowing them out or our daughter took them or whatever, now there's remnants of this toolkit. But I never had a hammer and a wrench.
Yeah.
So a high heel shoe and
And
a
a
butter
butter
knife.
Girl, that's all you need.
That's all you need.
And some grit.
and a little bit of grit.
A little bit of grit.
Yep.
So that's our toolkit
That's
for
it.
mom.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that's mom. That was mom's
Yeah.
toolkit.
Yep. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did fine. We had pictures on the wall.
Happy ones too.
Yes. Yeah.
So would you
Yeah.
consider your childhood being a happy childhood?
I'm going to answer this first. Yes, because my mom was a great mom, but now as an adult looking back, the things were missing.
Mhm.
A father figure was missing, just that structure. And I'm doing quotes of like a normal family, but no family is normal at all.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, if we wouldn't have the crazy memories and some of the crazy
Yeah.
stuff that we had to do to get by and live and survive, we wouldn't be the same. Lori or I, we wouldn't be
Yeah.
the same.
And it formed our sense of humor.
Yeah.
Just like the janky cars that we'd have. We have to
Yep.
go out and like bang on the starter to
Right.
start it, or push start them.
Pop the clutch.
Yeah. So there are things that we think are funny now. Our childhood, I don't think was unhappy. It would have been more unhappy had my parents stayed married, because my
Yes.
dad struggled with substance use disorder.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful we did not have to spend our lifetime with that in our household. But it was hard. We had housing insecurity. We had food insecurity. We had transportation insecurity. And as a kid, I had social insecurity. Like I babysat all summer so I could walk from Bangor Downs, which is a Section 8 housing complex that we lived in, to walk to Kmart to put my clothes on layaway. And other kids didn't have to do that. The kids
Yeah.
across the fence in Gaslight Village and the nice houses that we rode the bus with, they didn't have to do that. But it also gave me tremendous work ethic.
I was just
And
going to ask.
Yeah.
Tremendous work ethic.
Yeah.
And it also gave me tremendous gratitude. Still to this day, every time I get in my car and my car starts, and then if it has heat,
It's-
Yeah.
like I'm like, thank you God for the heat. And now I'm so fancy. Not only does my seat heat, so does my steering wheel.
Oh, snaps.
I will never go back.
Yep.
I will never go back. So I'm fancy now, but I did not grow up fancy.
No.
Okay, so a two-part question. Did you, Lori, ever think that you were going to be a teacher?
Teacher wasn't on my radar, but I knew I was not going to be poor.
And Jen, did you ever think you were going to be a business owner?
No, absolutely not. No. I for back then, not now. I never seen myself with a good quality life, financial security, a wonderful husband, and a wonderful family.
So for both of you, when did that pivot start? I was like, actually, I can do this.
I just always had a sense of it because being poor sucked and I hated it. So when my parents got divorced, she was only 2. So she really never remembered a middle-class lifestyle. I did. And I remember the social acceptance that I felt. And it's just different when you're poor. You get on the bus with those same kids and they're like, oh, you're bringing down our property values. They don't even know what that means. Neither did I, but I knew it was bad. So I just knew that being poor was bad. Even though we lived like a fun life, it was just socially bad. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. So I knew my way out was education. And so from the time I was that age, like I wanted to go to college because I was like, I will never be poor and I will never put my children in this situation. So if I get divorced, I will be able to be financially self-sufficient because I hated it that much. She was little and didn't really experience that little bit of a middle-class lifestyle where we went camping and we had a VW bus and like there were like middle-class things and we lived in a home that my parents owned. She never experienced that. Her whole life was, Section 8 housing, upgraded to the trailer park, bouncing from rental home to rental home. I knew that there was a difference and I like that better.
And that was your pivot.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, hell no. Like I'm not going to do that for forever. And so I just
that pivot was young in age.
Yes. I was like, this is not for me. What do I need to do to not have this for the rest of my life? And I knew it was education. And so that's why I got my MBA.
Jen, what was your pivot, that point?
A huge pivot for me, and it has already started a few years prior to that, though, is I am 4 years, 9 months sober of alcohol. Yay, and very proud of that. But I can say, like I kind of knew it when, when I was drinking but I can honestly say that when I became sober, everything everything just opened up and it's all shiny and I can see things in such a different light with positivity, because when you're going through addiction like that, you're there, but you're not there. I don't know. It's hard to explain if you've never gone through it. So I can honestly say doing that in my life has completely
and this is a later in life pivot.
Yeah, this was 4 years and 9 months ago. But I tried to do it when I was drinking and I tried to look like everything was okay. And I tried to, my business was still great and my relationship was still great. It was great then, but now it's flourishing. And I'm on top of my game and I have a wonderful business and wonderful family. And now being sober, I just appreciate it so much more than what I did when I was drinking.
And I think what I'm hearing and something, kind of a message to relay is, that pivot can happen at any point in life. It can really happen at any point in life. And so here in our last 2 minutes, I know that flew by, right, ladies?
Wow.
I'm going to ask both of you to share a quick piece of advice that you would pass along to a woman of the Great Lakes Bay region. We'll start with Jen.
Why do you got to start with me? Lori's on top of it. A piece of advice. You know what? Do it messy. Just do it. That's my advice, because we put so much pressure on ourselves, have everything be perfect and in line and ducks in a row. And no, that shit isn't true. Do it messy. Just do it.
And I would say do it scared. It's okay. It's okay to just do it scared. And you don't have to know the outcome. Just do your best to be as prepared as you can and jump in and start swimming.
Wow. That's 2 wonderful pieces of advice. I greatly appreciate both of you for being on today. Thank you so much for sharing your stories that are individual and unique, and they rooted from the same household. So for those of you listening, that was Jen Behmlander and Lori Ziolkowski, and that's what she said.
Thanks for having me.